much could the Eagles get if they traded Nick Foles? According to Hall of Fame general manager Bill Polian, a lot. Polian said yesterday that starting negotiations should be 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for the Super Bowl MVP. Foles will cost nearly $8 million towards the salary cap next season, but Carson Wentz is expected to return from injury. So Shannon, what is Foles worth?
Right now, Nick Foles' price is artificially high because of Carson Wentz's injury. And when you first hear Bill Polian say this, you're like, huh? But he's throwing out those numbers because you don't want anybody to come in and ask. Because here's the thing, Skip. I think Carson Wentz has one of the 3 most serious injuries for a quarterback. The most serious is a serious injury to his throwing shoulder. But he tore his ACL and his LCL. Now, the last quarterback we knew that tore those 2 ligaments was RG3. Now, what happened when RG3 rushed himself back to play, Skip? He was never the same. No. I can assure you the Philadelphia Eagles will not make that mistake with Carson Wentz.
So, not that Carson Wentz is going to rely on his legs the way Robert had to, but go ahead. Yeah.
But until I know if he's 100% healthy, I'm not moving him. This was why I was able to win the Super Bowl, because I had quality depth at the quarterback position. Skip, I believe they're the only team that were built, and it played out that way. Case Keenum wasn't able to do what Nick Foles, he was in the same situation. I believe if Carson Wentz was healthy, let's just say for the sake of argument, he broke his leg, or not going to hope that doesn't happen, but he had an injury that's only going to keep him out for 3 months. And he was going to be 100% healthy by the time OTA started. Nick Foles had come in, win the championship game, win the Super Bowl MVP. I believe you could probably get a second-round pick for him. Am I supposed to ignore the previous years that Nick Foles had? Now, had he had 27-2 and won Super Bowl MVP, now we might be on to something, Skip. But I can't forget those years in St. Louis. Now, granted, his head coach was Jeff Fisher. But Kansas City, I think we need to give Doug Peterson a little bit more credit than what we're giving him. Because what we've only seen Nick Foles play well in that Eagles uniform. I give you, like basketball, we've only seen Lance Stevenson play well in Indiana. He's had a lot of other stops, Skip, but he only plays well, seemingly, in Indiana. Nick Foles seems to only play well with the Eagles. So I don't believe, to the Eagles right now, Skip, what's he worth? Somebody going to give us that? Here's a true story. They say when Oprah bought a house up in Montecito, the house wasn't on the market for sale. She knocked on the door. She said, I want to buy this house. They say it's not for sale. She handed them a check. Said, we'll be out in 2 hours. You see? Now, if somebody come and offer what Bill Polian said, you give me 2 1s and 2 2s. Thanks, Nick. I really appreciate what you do. You always going to be a legend in Philly. Next to Rocky, you might be the biggest thing in Philly. But Skip,
what if you're stuck with a chronically injured Carson Wentz?
Carson, first of all, Pennsylvania ain't going anywhere. I know you want to get out from under these butt kickers that's about
You're the one who just brought up the most serious injury a quarterback can suffer.
But I'm saying, though, don't rush him back. I got plenty of time. First of all, I got Nick Foles under contract for $7.5 million. I don't have to do jack. Mm-hmm. So I'm not doing anything until I know 100% that Carson Wentz is healthy. Mm-hmm. Then I might entertain it. Right now, I'm not shopping, and I don't believe anybody's calling. Mm-hmm. First of all, here's the thing. Drew Brees has an exclusive franchise tag when he was free about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, which you had to give up 2 number ones to get it, and then nobody bite. Kirk Cousins had that. Nobody bit. There's a reason why, Skip, because not only are you going to have to give up compensation, you got to sign him to $100+ million. See, RG3's contract was $20 million over 4 years. Over 4 years, you sign Nick Foles and you give up that, you must be out your mind. I like Nick Foles. It's a great story, but I'm not giving up that. But if I guess somebody get desperate enough, you will.
I cannot tell you how much I disagree with every point you just made, but I'm going to go all the way back to the first point.
Okay.
You used the phrase artificially high for the market that my friend Bill Polian has set hypothetically on the open market for Nick Foles. 2 firsts and 2 seconds is not artificially high. That's exactly what he should be worth on the open market, because Nick Foles is better than Kirk Cousins. He just is. He's shown you repeatedly.
Get it for free.
What's that?
They're going to get it for free.
But I'm just saying, if Kirk Cousins is going to be worth $30+ million a year, then Nick Foles is worth 2 1s and 2 2s. Now, I'd need to know where are the 1s and the 2s in the rounds, but still, 2 1s and 2 2s for a quarterback with these credentials. He is 25 and 18 as a starting quarterback. That's +7. 7 games above 500 to Kirk Cousins, 4 games under 500.
Let me ask you a question. If Carson Wentz wasn't hurt, would you give up 2 1s and 2 2s for Nick Foles?
If he wasn't hurt.
If Carson Wentz was not hurt, would you give up 2 1s and 2 2s for Nick Foles?
If I'd just seen what Nick Foles did in place of him? Okay, I just saw it. Do you realize what we just saw? I don't know if it went in your brain because you became so Wentz-centric sitting across the table from me. You put all your eggs in Carson Wentz's basket. You said he's the MVP. And then all of a sudden, into the same offense, stepped one Nick Foles and took it up a level.
Oh, so were you?
He took it up a level.
After the Atlanta game, were you offering 2 1s and 2 2s?
Hey, he won the game, didn't he?
After the Raiders game.
Wait, I picked him to beat Atlanta. You didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah. So Nick Foles did what you didn't think he could do against Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then back to back, he played arguably the 2 greatest games in NFL quarterback playoff history.
I'll give you that.
Championship game and Super Bowl.
Yes.
And it wasn't like a first-round game, a wild card game, and then a divisional game.
Correct.
It was the championship game and the Super Bowl. And look at these numbers. 54 of 76, 78%. That's just outrageous. 725 yards, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And again, you said if he had 27-2 during the regular season, well, he did have a regular season, not under Doug Peterson.
But here's the thing.
That was under Chip Kelly.
Yeah. That was 2013.
Okay, but
when I said
did
that,
it.
no, I'm saying, but Skip. Okay, so what happened 14, 15, 16, 17?
Okay, well, let's talk about that. So his total touchdowns to interceptions, 63-29, and in the postseason, he's 8-1 because for Chip Kelly, he played a playoff game against Drew Brees in which Nick Foles, played well enough to win the game, and Drew Brees drove thanks to a long kickoff and a horse collar tackle for the walk-off field goal. But Nick Foles played well enough to be 4-0 in the postseason.
Okay, what about 14?
Okay, so he's got 1 blemish. He went to the quarterback killer who can be Jeff Fisher in St. Louis, and it was a disaster. I'm going to give him a pass on that because I watched what Jeff Fisher did to Vince Young. And I watched what happened to Jared Goff last year. So that was his only blemish. He had 1 year, and he was 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Okay, what about, in 2013, he had 27-2. What happened in 2014?
They were okay. Who's going to match 27-2? No one's ever done that before.
Okay, what about 2015?
Okay, but look at his body of work. 63-29?
But Skip,
Man,
there's something.
How about this year?
Something transpired between 13 and 17.
Yeah.
What is
that? You think this is aberration, what you just said?
Yes.
Boy, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, you think Nick Foles is that?
Yeah, I do.
Then you must be out your Skip.
Hey, I saw it. I saw it against the Vikings. Were the Vikings not the best defense of pro football?
Skip. But if you think Nick Foles is his 2 best games, that makes him the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
I didn't say that. I just said he's worth 2 1s and 2 2s because that's the quarterback market that we live in, as you threw at me about Kirk Cousins.
Name the quarterback that's ever commanded that. Because what you get, if you give up 2 1s and 2
Kirk Cousins, that's who's commanding that. He's going to get $30-some million.
Yes, but
he's average
with no compensation.
Okay,
you're just signing him. You're going to have to give up 2 1s, 2 2s, and give him $20 to $30 million. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, who do I want in a vacuum? Do I want Nick Foles or Kirk Cousins? I'm taking Nick Foles. I just am. He's better.
Skip, I thought didn't you coin the term prisoner of the moment?
Well, these are a lot of moments. I mean, 27-2 is a long moment.
That moment happened see, that happened in when? 2013.
Did it happen?
Yes.
Is it on your resume? Are 63 touchdowns to 29 interceptions on your resume?
Yes.
Is a postseason resume of 8-1 on your resume? Yeah, it is. It counts.
I'm just trying to. Where did he go from 14, 15, 16? Where was he then? I'm just trying to figure that out.
He was pretty good under Chip Kelly the next year. The team was quitting. The team was falling apart, and Chip Kelly ran off.
You see?
Okay, but look, every quarterback except one is somewhat a product of the talent around him.
All of them.
Except one. Nope. Tom Brady is not. Tom Brady lifts up a bunch of average talent.
Why did he lift him up? Beat that guy.
He threw for a record playoff yards in one game. No one's ever thrown for as many yards as Tom Brady threw for.
The guy lost Super Bowl to Eli.
What are you talking about?
He lost a game to Eli Manning, who got benched. He lost the game to this guy that got traded for Sam Bradford.
This guy put up 41 points against coach you call the greatest coach in NFL history. How did that happen, Shannon? Is that just an aberration?
Hold on.
Is it a blip on the screen? Really?
Whoa, Skip.
Come on. 41. He put up 41. He drove the ball for 7 straight minutes against that defense in crunch time.
Yeah.
And stuck it in the end zone, right?
Yeah,
wow.
But 2014 happened. 2015 happened.
27 to 2016 happened.
Now, he went to Kansas City. What? Hold on. Now, I've seen a guy
back up in Kansas City.
Why? Why did he back up? Because I saw a guy in Colin Kaepernick get the job away from Alex Smith. I see a guy in Patrick Mahomes. They move up 17 spots. They traded this year's #1 pick to take Patrick Mahomes.
He's not going to go in there and beat out a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes.
What do you mean?
They gave Patrick Mahomes the job. Why?
Because they traded up in the draft.
Why would you trade up in the draft if that's the guy?
Well, what does that have to do with Nick Foles?
I'm trying to tell you.
You're having a hard time dismissing what Nick Foles has done. I'm just telling you, he's worth 2 1s and 2 2s.
All I'm saying,
he can flat out play. He can throw it under pressure on the biggest stage in the sport in 2 games. You can't just say every dog has his day. This dog had 2 days.
Okay.
Right?
Skip, all I'm saying is you have to account for when have we seen franchise quarterbacks go team to team to team? Now, we saw Brett Favre, but Brett Favre is with
How many mistakes are about to get made on quarterbacks in the first round of the draft? They all make mistakes. Somebody's about to make Kirk Cousins the most overpaid quarterback in history by far. It's what they do.
All I'm saying is this, is that Nick Foles, he had 27 and 2, and then he had a great 5-game stretch. I'm giving him that. But what about the ends? Okay, what's in between the sandwich? You gave me 2 slices of bread. Now, where the meat?
I'm going on the eye test. This young man, and he's still a young man, can play.
But hold on. You picked Minnesota to beat him. You picked the Eagles. You did. You picked Minnesota.
I did not.
Yeah, you did. You picked Minnesota.
Baloney, I did. I picked the Eagles all the way home.
No, sir. No, sir.
False. You are flat out wrong. Want to bet on it?
I bet you. I bet you. Whatever you want to bet.
I picked the Eagles to win that game.
No,
How much?
Whatever you want to bet.
Well, we'll get $1 billion.
Okay.
How about $1 billion? Want to bet?
No, this is what I want. I want you to
bet. I picked the Eagles. I had the Eagles in the game.
No, you didn't.
I picked Nick Foles.
No, you picked Case Keenum. You picked Case Keenum, Joy.
We're going to get the receipts.
I want a ball of here. I want a ball of Rashard Hennessy, and I want you to bring it up here.
I picked the Eagles.
Healy.
You both did.
Healy.
You finally saw the line.
Healy.
You said, I'm going to pick them.
Healy.
I picked the Eagles.
Healy, you got to run the tape.
We're going to look it up. We
I picked the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
What are you talking about?
He picked Minnesota. He picked Case Keenum.
I did not pick I picked the Eagles. It was a route.
I know it was. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about. This is the easiest money I've ever made.
We'll find out.
We're going to go to commercial?
Somebody on the Patriots is lying about Malcolm Butler.
Somebody's lying on the set right now.
I'm about to get some
Let's discuss that
Rashard.
next and find out what Shannon's talking about.
We can't all be good guys. Some of us have to wear black hats. It's what makes the world go around. The Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr. I think I want to be on the evil side, too.
This year.